Baruch Hashem. Thank
All
you. Good
right,
morning.
folks, Rambam. We continue the laws of truma, of giving to the kohen. Right. We learned today in Chumash, right, that a person doesn't that a Levite rather doesn't get a parcel of land to grow things. They live in cities and they have green space around them, right? And so what they get is one of the things that the kohen gets is truma, approximately 2% of the produce. No, it's the first 2%. Okay. Okay. Chapter 10. So if a non-kohen, a non-priest, partakes of truma unknowingly, not allowed to, right? It's only for the kohen. So he must make restitution for the principal and add a fifth. Have to add in a fifth. So if it was worth 100, you have to give 125. A fifth is from 125, you have 5 parts. It's a quarter of the 100, but it's a fifth of the total. All right. Two ways you can call something. We don't usually call it that way. When we say a fifth, we mean of what there is now, which would be 20%, be 120. But you give 25 is a fifth, which is because it's a fifth of the total. 25 is one fifth. 25, right? The way I just explained it, yes. Practically speaking, it depends on how you express something. Okay. Even if he knows that it is truma, that he's warned against partaking of it, but he does not know whether or not he's liable for death by the hands of heaven, not by a court of law, right? Not physical death, spiritual death, or meaning premature death by the hands of heaven. He is considered to have acted unknowingly because he doesn't know the consequence. So that's still considered unknowingly. And he must make restitution for the principal and add a fifth. Right? So, Vida had a question in the Tanya class, right? What if you did a sin unknowingly? Are you responsible? So here, look, you unknowingly ate truma, right? Or even if you knew, but you didn't know the consequence of it, it's considered unknowingly, and you have to pay. Not only have to pay, but you have to add a fifth. That clear? A person who eats an article that is truma, that is ordinarily eaten, drinks something that is ordinarily drunk, or smears something that is ordinarily used for that purpose, is liable. As it says, and they shall not defile the sacraments of the children of Israel. This includes one who smears himself. So even if you took, oil that was truma and you just smeared yourself with it, right? She didn't even eat it. Still liable. Because it's a defilement of something sacred. That's the point, right? Whether one partakes of truma, which is ritually pure or ritually impure, unknowingly must make restitution for the principal and add a fifth. So here now, even adding, what if that truma is impure, right? So maybe then you don't have to make the fifth, add the fifth. You do. He's not liable for the fifth until he eats an olive-sized portion. But you have to eat an olive-sized portion to be responsible. When one will eat a sacrament unknowingly, eating implies consuming notice and olive size. Because it says when you eat. So it's called eating. if you put a little piece in your mouth, Torah doesn't call that eating. Eating means a certain amount.
You read fifth without footnote?
Sorry?
Fifth. You have to add a fifth, there's a footnote for number 5. Explain that.
Okay. He's not liable for a fifth until he eats all of sizes, we said.
Here.
Okay, your first time here? Oh, okay. So you know what to start with? My son will be here soon. Okay, thank you. Okay. No. So when we will be eat a sacrament unknowingly, as the verse says, eating implies consuming no less than an olive-sized portion. Just as one is liable for eating an olive-sized portion, so too is one liable for drinking an olive-sized portion. It's like 3 ounces. Okay. Following laws apply if a person ate truma and then ate again, drank and then drank again. If there is sufficient time to eat half a loaf of bread from the time that he began to eat it until he concluded, or sufficient time to drink a revias from the time that he began to drink until he concluded, all he consumes is combined to comprise one olive-sized portion. So if it's all within this one time period, so then it's all one time.
Combined, okay.
Truma, which is the 2% given to the kohen. Trumas Meiser is also a gift that's given to the kohen, but from the 10% that the Levite takes. Remember, the Levite takes 10% from after the 2%. From the 98%, it takes 9.8 of the original amount, at least, right? So whether the latter is from Demai is something that's questionable whether it was taken Truma and Meiser. Not certain. There's an uncertainty. Or from produce from which the ties were definitely not separated. Mm-hmm. Right. So you took from this Demai, or you took it from ties that were definitely not separated, or from Chala. And the first fruits can be all combined together to comprise an olive-sized portion for which one is liable for premature death, or restitution plus a fifth. They're all called truma at different times in the Torah. Huh?
He doesn't know.
Right. Yeah, only knowingly. According to law, one should not be liable for the fifth for the unknowing consumption of Trumas Meiser, that is Demai. It's just as one liable for the second tithe from Demai, as is explained. Nevertheless, the sages said, if one is not liable for fifth, people will treat it with disdain. So remember, Demai is, you have a heap of produce, right? And you're not certain, did you take the Truma and Meiser and give it? So it's questionable, right? So in that instance, right, the person's not liable for the fifth for unknowingly for the unknowing consumption of the Trumas Meiser, that is Demai. You now ate a part, right? Unknowingly, from something that you're not certain is that you took Trumas Meiser from the Demai. The problem is that you might not need to take Demai. You might not need to take the Trumas Meiser from it because it may have been taken. So it's questionable. So on something questionable, you don't have to pay a fifth. But here you would pay the fifth because that way people would treat it with disdain.
That's like motivation not to do it.
Right.
You do it, you get the fifth.
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to I have some responsibilities I have to go to. Sorry. All right.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Good
Have a
chat.
good day.